Most of the time when we cook chapati, we get quite a hassle because the chapatis don't turn out soft layers. Instead, they crack like chips or wafers. The skill to making the perfect chapati is practice. Practice, practice. So you need a few trials so that you can make those soft layered chapatis. 6 ingredients is all you need for this recipe, and the key ingredient is the all-purpose flour, of course. So these are 4 cups. We have some sugar, salt, an egg, margarine, some extra all-purpose flour, and cooking oil together with milk. The milk is lukewarm, so we are going to get straight into kneading our dough. Into your bowl, you're going to add in a tablespoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. Whisk in the ingredients until fully combined. You need your dough to be perfectly seasoned so that you can get some delicious chapatis. Next, you're going to add in 1 tablespoon of margarine. Now, this is where it gets interesting because the margarine is going to make the chapatis turn out super soft. So you're going to use your fingertips, massage in the margarine into the flour, and once done, it's going to resemble little clumps of flour, just like this. So don't skip on the margarine. Once done, you're going to crack in an egg. Then you're going to gradually add in your milk as you need. So this is how your dough is going to be looking. As you can see, it's on the sticky side. So you're going to sprinkle in some extra flour as you need until you get a soft dough. The milk is going to make the chapati get a very nice texture, and also it's going to add in a nice milky taste to your chapatis, which is going to be so awesome. Scrape your bowl as you are kneading the dough. This step is very crucial because you're going to be kneading for around 4 to 6 minutes, and this is going to activate the gluten structure of the flour. Hence, you're going to get a very nice soft and elastic dough. The key here is to sprinkle in little bits of flour as you need because you don't want to change the texture of the dough. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of cooking oil and knead. Flip my dough. You need some muscle while kneading your dough, especially if you have doubled or tripled the ingredients to make some more chapati. But after a while, you'll notice that the dough is getting so soft, very elastic, as you can see. So just continue kneading until the dough is perfect. This is how your dough is going to be looking after 6 minutes. As you can see, it's not sticky at all. So now I'm going to add in a teaspoon of cooking oil. Make sure to oil my dough. Tuck in the bottom just like this. Then we are going to be resting for around 15 to 20 minutes before cooking. And this is going to relax the glutens, hence your dough is going to be perfect when proceeding to the next step, which is going to be cooking our chapati. So I'm going to grab a kitchen towel, cover my dough, and place aside. Then I'm going to clear my space, ready for the next step. After 15 minutes, it's time to move on to the next step. So you're going to transfer the dough to your working surface. You can see how elastic the dough is. After lifting up, it's just so stretchy. So now I'm going to knead for around a minute. Once more, I'm going to tuck in the bottom just like this. Sprinkle a little bit more flour on my countertop. Make sure to spread around because we're going to be rolling out our dough. Push your dough vertically and horizontally until you have a large circle or rectangle, whichever shape. It's going to be so easy while pushing the dough because it's soft and elastic. So you don't need to put a lot of effort. That is. Once your dough is well stretched out, you're going to add in a tablespoon and a half of cooking oil. Then you're going to spread and make sure the edges are well oiled as well. Then you're going to sprinkle in some flour. Once you're done, you're going to use a knife or anything sharp to cut your dough into strips. I find that using a pizza cutter is very easy because you don't have a hard time cutting the dough. Then, now it's time to make those layers in your chapati. So you're going to pick one end and roll into a log, just like this. Then tuck in the bottom. And this is the size I'm going for. Repeat by folding the dough just like this. Then you're going to tuck in the bottom, press on top, place aside. Super easy. So I'm going to repeat with the rest of the dough, making sure each piece is same size so that you can have the same size chapatis. I find that creating layers this way is much simpler and easy, especially if you're making a large batch of chapati, because you're going to move very fast. So I always make my chapati this way and it turns out fantastic. I have 10 chapatis from the recipe. So now I'm going to grab a kitchen towel, cover my dough so that it doesn't dry off. Then we're going to go to the next step, which is going to be cooking our chapati. So I'm going to pick one, add in some flour to my countertop, press down using the palm of my hands. Then I'm going to roll out the dough. Now this is where it gets tricky, forming a perfect circle for your chapatis. So with a lot of practice, you're going to get it. The first time it's going to be a little bit hard to make round chapatis, but over time, yeah, you'll have those round chapatis. At this point, I'm going to place a non-stick pan for the recipe of a medium flame. Most of my chapati recipes, I usually use the chapati skillet, which is very heavy, but for this recipe you're going to be using a non-stick pan. It's all a matter of trial and error. But trust me, the chapatis are going to turn out perfect. Or it's just a matter of trying out new ways to cook your chapatis. Maybe you don't own that chapati skillet and you have a non-stick pan. If you notice that your dough is sticking on your countertop, just sprinkle some more flour so that can be easier for you to roll out the dough. Once you're done, you're going to transfer in your dough in the hot pan. So carefully, I'm going to pick it up. Then I'm going to be cooking for around 30 seconds to a minute on each side. Very quickly, I'm going to pick my next piece of dough, sprinkle some flour on my countertop and roll it out. So this step is very crucial because we're cooking the dough on the inside. Then later on, we're going to be adding in some nice golden color on the chapati. So I'm going to check if it's perfectly cooking. Transfer to a plate. Cover with the kitchen towel so that the dough doesn't dry off. Then I'm going to place in the next piece of dough. So you're going to repeat this with the rest of the chapatis, which is going to take around 10 to 15 minutes at most, because the chapatis are not a lot. As you're cooking your chapati, you're going to notice steam bubbles in the dough. So be very careful because it's extremely hot. So using your spatula or whatever you're going to be using to flip your dough, you're going to flip and cook the other side for around 30 seconds. You can see how puffy the dough is looking. Now that I'm done cooking the chapati on the inside, it's time to add in that nice color on the chapati. And I'm super excited because I know the chapatis are going to turn out absolutely amazing. So you're going to need some cooking oil for this recipe, and make sure the flames are at medium low at this point so that you can get that perfect color. This is how the chapatis are looking. So now I'm going to place in 4 chapatis because I'm going to be adding in the color in batches. Use my spatula and move the chapatis around just like this so that you can get even browning on the chapatis. Flip the other side. Gorgeous. Flip the top one. Add in some cooking oil. Let the oil sip in the bottom by lifting up your chapati. And when it gets hot, you can use a piece of paper to move your chapati around. When the first one is ready, you're going to transfer to a plate, cover with a kitchen towel, and add in your next. And add in some more cooking oil while you move the chapati around. The chapati is super hot, but you can see how it's very soft layered. Very hot. I love serving up my chapati over some beef, chicken, or even mutton stew, and sometimes serve with some vegan curry, which makes the chapatis so delicious. So I hope you'll be giving this recipe a try because it has taken me around 30 minutes, which means that you can double, triple the ingredients to make some more chapatis for your family, and each bite is going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm going to fold my chapatis to add a nice presentation for you guys.